What's going on, Duval? And for the Jags fans and to the other guys here, it's your boy Mail Jones back here with another NFL record prediction. And this time we'll be predicting the Jacksonville Jaguars 2023 record prediction. Giving my thoughts, my game analysis, see which games I think the Jags will win and which games I think the Jags are going to lose. So before I give you my record prediction for the Jacksonville Jaguars for the 2023 NFL season, don't forget to put a thumbs up to like the video, subscribe to my channel for more options, and don't forget to comment down your opinion below to see who you think is going to how good do you think the Jags are going to do? Do you think they're going to make the playoffs again? Do you think they're going to get the AFC South crown again? Do you think they're going to miss out on the playoffs? Let me know in the comment section below what you think. All right, so let's get started here. So week 1, will Jaguars repeat as the AFC South division? Can they? Who knows? Where to get things started? So week 1, they have to play versus the Indianapolis Colts on the road. Now, this is a game that can definitely go either way, though, because literally, though, Jacksonville has struggled against Indianapolis for the past couple of years. But I don't think Indianapolis is going to be a good team this year. I feel like they're going to be doing some learning curves. You got a new coach, new quarterback, and Anthony Richardson, new scheme, and also they got like a new culture. So I feel like it might take a little learning curve. So at the end of the day, I'm going to take Jacksonville to win. I'm going to take Jacksonville to win this game because I just kind of really have a feeling that, Jacksonville is just a way overall better team. They got the better quarterback, and they have better coaching staff as well. So, yeah, that's pretty much why I think the Jags win that game. The next game, week 2, they have to play at home versus Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is another game that can definitely go either way, though. I think that's a game where I think the Chiefs can definitely win on the road. But I kind of remember that during the divisional round where the Chiefs, have beat them, and then they beat them in the regular season. Because some people are kind of picking Jacksonville to win at home. But I'm just going to go ahead and just say that the Jags are going to win this game here. Because I just kind of have a feeling that Jacksonville, is going to I feel like Trevor Lawrence is going to put up a show here. And I think he can do enough on offense. And I feel like the Jags offense can do enough offensively to dice up the Chiefs defense up. So yeah. And I think the defense for Jacksonville is going to give Mahomes some fits and all that. So yeah. Even though I think the Chiefs are overall better team, I think Jacksonville is going to win because it's at home, and I just kind of feel like that Jacksonville is going to do enough to control time possession and keep Patrick Mahomes on the sidelines and all that. So yeah, I think Jacksonville wins that game to start off 2-0. The next game, week 3, they have to play versus the Texans. Obviously, I got them beating the Texans because Texans, same thing like I said with the Colts, they're going to deal with learning curves. They have a new coach, new quarterback, new scheme, new offense, new defense, a lot of new stuff. So they're going to be dealing with some learning curves because of a lot of new supporting cast in there. And on top of that, Jacksonville is just an overall better team, better coaching staff. They're at home. And plus, they have a better quarterback as well. So, yeah. So, that's pretty much why I think Jacksonville wins that game. So, that's to start off 3-0. The next game, week 4, they have to play versus the Atlanta Falcons. Now, this is a game right here that can definitely go either way. But I wouldn't be shocked if Atlanta won this game because I think Atlanta's going to be a decent team this year. I like what they did. I feel like their defense did improve enough and I like their offensive line, which it did improve. But if this game is in Atlanta, I might roll with the Falcons. But given that this game is not in Jacksonville, it's in London. So I'm going to go ahead and take Jacksonville to win this game in London, because I just kind of have a feeling that, Jacksonville, I just kind of feeling that Jacksonville, I just kind of feel like Jacksonville is a more complete team. They have the better quarterback and better coaching staff. And on top of that, I just kind of feel like that Jacksonville's defense is going to give Desmond Ridder some issues and all that. So yeah, I like their secondary matchup, which I think they can match up well with the Falcons receivers really good. And this could definitely be the Calvin Ridley revenge game, where I think Calvin Ridley is going to get his revenge on the Falcons. So yes, I think this game will be close. It will be competitive, but I think Jacksonville is going to find a way to pull it off. So starting off the season 4-0, now looking hot. And now next game, week 5, they have to stay in London again, which, they have to play against the Buffalo Bills. Now, this is another game that can go either way. Some people are picking Jacksonville to win because they know Jacksonville is good in London, though. But if this game's in Jacksonville, I might go with the Jaguars here. But I kind of remember that game where, it was that from 2 years ago where Jacksonville, have beaten them in their stadium. They beat them in an ugly game. But I think this game right here is going to be close and competitive, though. But I am going to roll with the Bills here to win this game, because I just think that the Bills, are just an overall better team, better quarterback. They're at home, and I just kind of feel like they have a better defense as well. I think the defense for Buffalo is going to give the Jags offensive line and Trevor Lawrence some fits. And I think, the Bills can do enough on the offensive line to, control, their pass rush. And I think, that those guys, the wide receiver, the pass catching group of Diggs and Davis and Knox and Kincaid, those guys are probably going to be too much for the Jags secondary to handle. So I think Josh Allen. So I just kind of feel like Josh Allen can do enough to move the ball through the air against your secondary. So yeah. So I think this game, and also they have a good secondary too that can handle business against the Jags receivers. So yeah, I think this game is probably going to be close, and I think it's going to be competitive though. But I think the Bills find a way to win that game. The next game, week 6, they have to play versus the Colts at home. Obviously, I got Jacksonville sweeping the Colts this year. I think they're going to sweep them this year. I kind of feel that they will, because I don't think Indy's going to have much to play for, because I don't think the Colts are going to make the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs, and Jacksonville is fighting to make the playoffs and all that. They could be fighting to get first place in their division and all that. So yeah, some people are thinking that the Colts might split with Jacksonville because the Colts play Jacksonville pretty tough, but I just kind of have a feeling that Jacksonville is going to sweep them, because here's the thing. Indy always struggles in Jacksonville. So I think Jacksonville at home against the Colts are pretty good, because I think they can. So yeah, and I just think Jacksonville is just an overall, they're just a more complete team. Like I said, more complete team, better quarterback, better coaching staff. They're at home in this game. So yeah, that's pretty much why I think Jacksonville can win that game. So they're set up at 5-1. The next game, week 7, they have to play versus the New Orleans Saints. Now, this is on a short week. Now, I feel like this is a game right here that can go either way because typically the Saints sometimes are not good at home against tough teams. But this is the Derek Carr era. So I think that's a game where I think Jacksonville can win. But if this game's in Jacksonville, I might roll with the Saints. But since this game's in New Orleans and it's on a Thursday night game, I'm going to roll with the Saints to pull off the upset because I just kind of really feel like that the Saints, match up well with the Jaguars pretty good. They have a good defensive line that can really give Trevor Lawrence, that can really disrupt the offensive line and rush the passer. And then their secondary is pretty dominant, which I think they can handle business against the Jags receivers. And also, even though their offensive line is overrated, I feel like Derek Carr can do enough to make some plays against your secondary, especially, with the weapons that they have with Chris Olave, Michael Thomas. So, yeah, and especially Alvin Kamara and Jamal Williams. So, yeah. So, I think the game right here, even though I think Jacksonville's a better team, I think the Saints are going to pull off the upset because I just kind of feel like the Saints, defense matches up well with the Jags' offensive line because I don't think their offensive line matches up well with the Saints pretty good. So, yeah, I think it will be close. And plus, Thursday night, I usually go with the home team on Thursday night because it's kind of wacky and weird. So, that's pretty much why I have the Saints winning. All right, next game, week 8, they have to play against the Steelers. Obviously, that's another road game. That's another game that can go either way. Now, some people are kind of really picking Jacksonville to win on the road because they think Jacksonville's a better team. But given that the game's in Pittsburgh, if the game's in Jacksonville, I might go with the Jags. But since this game is in Pittsburgh, I'm rolling with the Steelers here because I just think the Steelers are I think the Steelers are going to win because I kind of really feel like that their defense is going to find a way to rush the passer and probably give their offensive line some fits. Because I don't think Jacksonville's offensive line can really block anybody's front. Because I think Pittsburgh's pass rush is going to get after the quarterback. And I think with their secondary, with their much improved secondary, I think they can find a way to handle business against the Jags receivers. So, yeah. Even though the Steelers don't have a good old line, I think Kenny Pickett can do enough to make some plays and throw the ball through the air against your defense. So, yeah, especially with the weapons he has. So, especially with the weapons they have on offense with Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Allen Robinson, Pat Fairmouth, Najee Harris. Yeah. I think this game is going to be super close. And I think it will be competitive. I think it's going to be a shootout. But I think the Steelers are going to find a way to pull it out. So that's losing 2 straight games. You're losing. That's 5-3 right now, losing 2 straight games. Ahead of the bye week, they get a bye week 9, which means they have extra time to prepare and watch film, Because if they have extra time to prepare, they get the rest because it's a bye week. And then I think the next game, so the next game, So next game, oops, I'm on the wrong one. Oops, my bad. See if I can get back. Let's see. So actually, to come off a bye, this thing's tweaking. So obviously, they're coming off a bye, which they have extra time to prepare and watch film. Because anybody has time to watch film to get the rest because of the bye week. And then, they have to play at home against San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, this is a game that go either way, but I want to say the Niners, that Jacksonville, I want to say Jacksonville can drop this game because I think San Francisco, they have a really good front that can really give the Jags offense issues. And they have a pretty good offense and some weapons that can give Jacksonville's defense issues. But they're coming off a bye. And I think between these games, I think they're gonna at least win one of the Steelers, Saints, or Niners game. But I don't think they're gonna lose all these games. But I think they're gonna win one of them, one of these 3 games. So I'm gonna say after the bye, I'm gonna say I'm probably gonna say that I'm gonna say they beat the 49ers because I just kind of have a feeling that that Jacksonville can do enough offensively to move the ball against San Francisco defense. And I think their offensive line is pretty much underrated. I think they can block their front. And I think that, Jacksonville's pass rush is pretty solid. I think they can do enough to at least rush the passer and probably get after, who's ever playing quarterback. And especially we don't know who's going to be playing quarterback for the Niners. Rather, it's going to be Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, or Trey Lance. So that's the question. I think San Francisco, the Jacksonville, they're just more stable with the quarterback position for right now. I can definitely change my mind on that, but I think it will be close. But I just got the Niners win that. I just got the Jacksonville win that game for real. Just because I just feel like they're not going to lose 5 games in a row, lose 3, 4, 5 games in a row. So that's how I see it. So yeah, the next game. Week 11, they have to play against the Titans. Obviously, I think they're going to split with the Titans. So for right now, even though they're at home, I don't think it matters though. So I want to say Jacksonville can win the first game at home, but I have a feeling that sometimes the Titans win on the road against Jacksonville, and Jacksonville wins on the road against Tennessee and all that. Because I kind of remember last year, Jacksonville swept them. So I'm going to say Titans will split with you guys this year. Even though I don't think they're going to be very good, I think they're going to split with Jacksonville. So I'm going to say they lose the first game against the Titans because, Tennessee plays them tough and all that. So, yeah, I think they'll get revenge from last year because they beat them twice, because they beat them twice last year. So, yeah. And then next game, week 12, they have to play versus Houston Texans on the road. Now, I think that's a game where Houston can win because, Houston tends to play the Jags tough because they pretty much own them. But you know what? I'm going to say that they sweep the Texans this year because I just kind of really feel like that the Houston's not going to have much to play for because they're not going to make the playoffs. And, Jacksonville has more to play for because they have a chance to make the playoffs. And, Jacksonville just has a better quarterback, better coaching staff, and a more complete team. So, yeah, that's pretty much why I think Jacksonville wins that game. Next game they have to play versus Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football. This is going to be a good game. This is a game that can go either way, but I think I would not be shocked if Jacksonville pull off the upset, but it could be super close though. I feel like Jacksonville can definitely pull off an upset, but I am going to roll with I'm going to take the Bengals to win this game here because I just kind of feel like the Bengals are just a more complete team. They have a better quarterback, better coaching staff, and I just kind of feel like Joe Burrow can do enough to throw the ball in the air against your defense and also against your secondary because they have a good offensive line that can control your pass rush. They have some weapons, against the Bengals. I just kind of feel like Chase, Higgins, Boyd, those guys are going to be too much for your secondary to handle. So, yeah, and I just kind of feel like Cincinnati's defense is going to find a way to rush the passer and give the Jags offense and Trevor Lawrence some fits. And their secondary is pretty much underrated, which I think they can handle business against the pass catching group of Jacksonville. So, yeah. So that's pretty much why I have Jacksonville winning that game. I mean, that's pretty much why I think the Bengals win that game. But it will be close, and I think it will be a shootout, but I think Cincinnati finds a way to pull it out. All right, the next game, Week 14, that's play against the Browns. This is another game that can go either way because some people are picking Jacksonville to win because they think Jacksonville is just an overall better team than Cleveland. But if this game's in Jacksonville, I might roll with Jacksonville. But given that the game's in Cleveland, I am going to take the Browns to win this game here because I just kind of really feel like I kind of like this matchup though of the Browns. I like how the way they match up well with the Browns. I like how the way they can match up well with Jacksonville pretty good. They have a good secondary that can really handle business against Jacksonville's receivers. They have a good defensive line. I feel like their defensive line improved a lot, adding Tomlinson and Darius Smith. I think this defensive line is going to give Jacksonville's offense and some fits. And then, they have a strong offensive line. And I think they can be able to control their pass rush. And I feel like Deshaun Watson, he's going to put up a show here. Because I just don't feel like, and I felt the weaponry of David Njoku, Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, those guys are going to be too much for Jacksonville's secondary to handle. So, yeah. And on top of that, the Browns are at home. And I think it will be close, though, but I think the Browns find a way to win this game. Maybe in a shootout. Maybe they win by a few points. Okay, so the next game. Okay, so next game, they have to play versus the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, that's a game that can go either way. Now, some people might pick the Ravens to win because they might want that revenge from last year where, they blew that. They were up by a couple points, and then Jacksonville came back on them because they won by a 2-point conversion or something like that to win the game. But obviously, if this game is in Baltimore, I might go the Ravens here. But given that the game's in Jacksonville, I'm going to take the Jaguars to win this game because I think Jacksonville, can do enough offense, to control, he can do enough against the Ravens defense. And I think Jacksonville's defense can find a way to at least slow down Lamar and slow down, and company. And then, I feel like that the defense might find a way to like confuse the Ravens offense. So yeah, I feel like that Jacksonville is going to control time possession. They can like force. They can like force their defense to get off the field, and they can like keep Lamar on the sideline. So yeah, I think that kind of allows them to win this game. But I think it will be closer than last time. But it will be a shootout. But I think Jacksonville wins this game. Next game, week 16, they have to play against they have to stay in Florida, which they have to play against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Obviously, I got them beating the Bucs because because they don't got no Tom Brady. Because they don't got Tom Brady. And on top of that, so I think they start the season off strong. I think the next 3 games is pretty easy. So I say they beat the Bucs because they beat the Bucs. They beat Carolina, and they split with the Titans here. So I think the reason why I got them beating the Bucs because they don't got Tom Brady. And then, I feel like Tampa Bay is a little bit overrated. I don't have no faith in their coaching staff. Their defense, I feel like, is a little bit overrated. And I feel like that their offensive line is a little bit overrated. So I think Jacksonville should have success moving the ball against them. They should have success, on defense, like slowing down the Bucs offense. Because I have no faith in Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield is a little bit overrated. Like, I don't know who's going to be playing quarterback for the Bucs, right? It's going to be Kyle Trask, Baker Mayfield. Who knows? I think Jacksonville has a better defense, in my opinion. I mean, Jacksonville still has a better quarterback, better coaching staff, and I just think they're just a more complete team. So, yeah, that's pretty much why I think they beat the Bucs. And the reason why I got Jacksonville beating Carolina is because, Carolina, I don't trust a rookie on the road. So, yeah. And on top of that, I think Jacksonville's defense finds a way to, like, confuse the rookie. And then I think, I feel like Trevor Lawrence, he can do enough offensively, to spread out can do enough against the Panthers defense. He can do enough to throw the ball in the air against their defense. So, yeah, I mean, Panthers defense is pretty young. Their secondary is young. So I feel like Jacksonville has success in the passing game. So, yeah, I think they win that game. And then, obviously, last game, Week 18, I got them splitting with the Titans because I don't think Tennessee might not have much to play for because I feel like they could be a team that could make the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. I think Jacksonville is trying to fight to win a division again. So, yeah, I think Jacksonville is just an overall better team from a talent standpoint. They have the better quarterback for right now. I mean, we don't know who's playing quarterback for the Titans this year, right? It's going to be Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis, or Will Levis. But I'm kind of believing it's going to be Tannehill being QB1. Who knows? So, yeah. So at the end of the day, I got the Jags going 11-6, which that is pretty optimistic, though. I can see them being as good as 12-5, maybe 13-4, something like that. But when you look at their schedule, it's pretty difficult because when you look at the teams that they have playing their schedule, they have to play the Chiefs, the Bills, the Saints, the Steelers, the Falcons, the Panthers, the 49ers, the Bengals, the Browns, the Ravens. So this is a difficult schedule, though, which I know that even if they miss out on the playoffs, I would not be surprised, though. But I think Jacksonville is kind of the best team in the AFC AFC South, and I think they have a chance to get the AFC South crown like they did last year. So pretty much, yeah. But when you look at these games, I feel like that's some of these swing games I think you can beat, which like a game like the Saints where I think you can definitely fully win. The Steelers are a game that you can win. Like the Bengals is another swing game. Even the Browns is another swing game that you can possibly win. So all these games that you can definitely win. So yeah. So I feel like Jacksonville is going to be a good team again this year. And I just kind of feel like the quarterback position is kind of better in that division. So yeah. I think the receiving core is going to be better after adding Calvin Ridley. And then I think, the offensive line is pretty young, but I think it's going to be better than it was last year. I think their defense is pretty underrated. I think it's going to be good again. And I think their coaching is pretty solid. So let me know in the comment section below what you think. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Just let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. So before I leave, I want to tell you, 11-6 is probably good. I just have Jacksonville at 11-6. I feel like it's good enough for him to make the playoffs. 5-1 in the division, 7-5 in the conference, 7-2 at home, 4-4 away. That's pretty good. So I think Jacksonville could be definitely fighting to get that number 2 or maybe 3 seed in the AFC. Maybe if I say if they because right now I think I have the other teams like the Bills and Chiefs, and I have the Bills and Chiefs and Bengals getting their AFC crowns of the division. So yeah, and I think that that Jacksonville is going to so I think Jacksonville is probably gonna I think they have a chance to land somewhere from at least they have a chance to at least go from 9 to 11 wins this year. I think their floor is probably going to be 8 and 9 if everything goes wrong and Trevor Lawrence is not great, the offense is not great, the defense is not, and then the defense declines. And then I think they have a high ceiling at maybe 12 wins. If Trevor Lawrence can have a breakout season, and everything goes right and the defense starts to be the best and the offense just be the best and break out. So yeah. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. It's Emmanuel Jones from Big Fan. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.